Good morning, everyone. It's time for another vlog. It is the SPFBO vlog. SPFBO September is here. I am trying to get at least 3 SPFBO reads done in the first, let's say, 10 days of the month. So that is what this vlog is all about. I've got very little planned in the next 10 days. So it's just going to be reading updates, I think. I just had my birthday, so I will show you one of the things that I got that I haven't shown on here yet because it's really cool for me. I grew up in the 90s in the Charmed era. My sister bought me the Book of Shadows. It's so cool for me, but probably not for anyone else. But I like it, so I'm going to put it in the vlog. And we have Father's Day, so I might do some clips of that if my father will allow it. I don't know. We've got a lot of family stuff happening this weekend, but that's pretty much it outside of reading updates. I have 0 plans tomorrow, and that makes me quite nervous. I don't like not having plans, so I'm going to have to make some plans. I've got a writing sprint with Mark, hopefully. I bullied him gently into doing some writing with me because also in this vlog, I would like to hit 10k words on my work in progress. I was meant to do it by September. It's currently the 1st September, and I have about 9,000. So only 1,000 to go. Theoretically, that should be fairly easy, but this work in progress has been fairly slow. But that's okay. I'm just writing when I want to write, not forcing it. It's not something that I want out in the world in any given time frame. I just need this trilogy out of my head. And if it gets published, it gets published. And that's great. But I'm going to work on it tomorrow because I'm feeling the writing itch. Reading updates, or what am I reading in this vlog? I'm going to be starting off with Return of the Knights by Gregory Contaxis. I'll put the picture up over there. I hear this is quite classic fantasy. It's got some tropies in there, which we all know and love. I don't know too much about it. I've read the blurb a couple of times and it's just not stuck in my head, but we'll see. I'm hoping to enjoy it, and I'm feeling just that classic fantasy vibe, so we'll see what happens there. I have started listening to The Fall Is All There Is by C.M. Chaplin. I can already tell this is going to be such a unique read. I'm only about, I think, an hour into the book, but already great autism rep. There's some conversations about autism in there and how it's different for people, which I think is great. And I've really enjoyed it. Very unique world. It's sort of like steampunky with fantasy. So far, from what I understand, magic has like royally effed the world, and now they're trying to build this world without using magic. Um, and he's going to go and see his family, which he has been estranged from for 5 years. Left he left his family for 5 years and now is being called back. So he's going to do that, and he's very nervous about doing that. But the world building elements as they're traveling back to his family have been really cool so far. But I don't know too much about it just yet, so I can't really go into too much detail. The third thing I would like to read is Legacy of the Vermilion Blade. This is by J. Tolsquall, and it is a sexual rep. So we're trying to get some diversity here within the SPFBO read. So yeah, those are the plans. That's all for today, folks. See you in the next clip. Hello, Ari. You need a bath. You used to be white on your head. Yeah, you need a bath. So this is the Book of Shadows that my sister bought me. This is the actual book. It's not the DVD collection, which... Hello? Okay, you had to turn around. Very good. This is the actual book from the TV show. And it's got all of the spells that were inside of it throughout the show. And from what I understand, and what she was telling me, was also in the book series. So Charmed went on and it had a book series. I was obsessed with them when I was in my mid to late teens, and then I really got into the show towards sort of when I got into high school. So the show started in 1998. I think I got into it around season 6 and then got obsessed and binged them all. But yeah, we have all of the spells in there from the show, and I thought that was really cool. I had a bit of a nerding out moment. I'm sure no one else cares, but I assume we've got these blank pages because they were blank in the show, but also so that the ink hasn't bled over into them. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I really liked her in the show. Anyway, that's it for the Book of Shadows. Okay, bye. Can I help you? Today the theme is 10,000. It's very noisy. I don't have the mic on, the dog's barking, the washing machine's going. It is what it is. I started an activity at work for a whole group of people called September. The aim is to get 10,000 steps a day. I had to charge my Apple Watch to count my steps. And I've just been for a walk and I've only cracked 3,500. So, a little walking today. Today is errand day. I don't really have any plans, and I don't really do well with not having plans. I think I said that in the last clip, so I'm going to go out and run some errands. I've got a writing sprint in about 20 minutes time, hoping to get 10,000 words and 10,000 steps today, so we'll see what happens. I got to 20% of Return of the Knights. It's fine so far. It's a very classic fantasy story. There's not a lot. There's no painting outside of the box there, but it is enjoyable enough for what it is. It is doing what it promised to do. It's doing what it set out to do. We're essentially following a young man named Elliot, and I would argue an older guardsman named Peter. And at the moment in the story, there's this threat of I think they're the ghosts something, and these people led by a man named Warren are wanting to take over the whole world, essentially. And the Queen Sophie is trying to bring back the knightdom, which has not been a thing for a number of years. So that's sort of where we're at there. We've just met Elliot, who is the last known knight. It's so noisy in here. I should really get the mic, but I'm lazy. But I should, give me more steps. Yes, so Elliot is been trained by one of the Grand Masters. They all thought the Grand Masters were dead and there weren't any anymore. And he's turned up and he's done a mad battle, proven his skills, and I think he's been thrown into a prison. I think that's where we're at the moment. So there's a war coming and he needs to warn them, and it's all very classic medieval-esque feeling fantasy. The other thing I've been reading is The Fall Is All There Is by C.M. Chaplin. Very unique. The shit just hit the fan, but I can't really talk about it because it's a spoiler for where the story goes. But the whole I've been summoned by my brother to go swear fealty to my sister thing isn't all there is, and there is a much deeper plot and some more machinations happening with one of the other brothers, and some drama has ensued, and I'm here for it. Very unique world. We've got a genre blend here of sort of post-apocalyptic, dystopian. It's sci-fi-esque. There's some steampunk stuff, and there's also spattering of fantasy. So it's really interesting to have that genre blend, and I'm quite enjoying it a lot. And the narrator's doing a good job as well. So today I'm going to probably do this writing sprint. I'm going to bath the dog, take her up to the nice dog bath. She can have a dog massage thing. They've got a little shower head that does the massage. Yeah, whatever. She's spoiled. I don't have kids. Then I've got to do some Father's Day shopping for tomorrow, and I might take myself out for lunch. That sounds nice. And do some more reading. What a day. Sounds like a great day. Alright, it's been about an hour and a half of writing sprints. I got to 9,620 words, so just shy of 10,000. I'm going to go run some errands, and I forgot I meant to have a video out this morning, which did not go out because I have not edited it, so I'll probably do that this afternoon as well. But I need a break from staring at a screen, so I'm going to go run errands, wash the dog, do my Father's Day shopping, go have lunch, come back, do this afternoon after editing a video, and then probably read. I want to get to 50% of Return of the Knights today, if possible. There's 6 hours left in the book, so we'll see if I can crank out another 30% of that today. But yeah, I should get 10,000 today. Fingers crossed. I was hoping for it at the start of September, and then put 5,000 words into it every month. Very small, very attainable goal for me personally, but we'll see where we get to. Okay, bye. Hello everyone, it is the 4th today at about 3 p.m, just on my lunch break from work. So I thought we'd do a quick reading update and talk about The Fall Is All There Is and also Return of the Knights. So with The Fall Is All There Is, I'm probably about 35% of the way through now. I listen to audio quite slowly. I'm sure I've mentioned that before. Also, sorry about the main road noise. Again, I don't have the mic. Will I learn? Probably not. I'm actually really liking the world of this story. It's very unique. The cyborg horses, the machinery mixed with like the meat of animals and people, and it's just weird. This world has seen I can't remember what they call it, but like an annihilation from magic, and there's been 2 of them. So the world is pretty much effed, and they've had to rebuild and use other things that are not magic to be able to get on with their lives because magic has caused all this destruction. It's very much like a family drama where essentially the plot has come together. So if you've read the back of the book, it talks about this brother Peter who has to make a decision to essentially pick a sibling now that their father has died to side with, because he is 4th in line for the throne and the other 3 are all making like power plays. And we've just come into like the 2nd sibling. So Edgar, his first sibling, has come to pick him up to go and deal with his shenanigans, but now he's being met by his other brother Desmond and being told that the one they're worried about isn't him, it's in fact Edgar. So it's all just sort of coming together in this drama, political family plot, and I'm here for it. Very enjoyable, having a great time with it. The other one that I'm reading is Return of the Knights by Gregory Contaxis. Now, this one is an okay book for me. I'm probably sitting around the 3-star mark, to be completely honest. There are parts of it which are really enjoyable, and there are parts of it which are not enjoyable, but I've just had better experiences in the past, to be completely honest. So the storyline is, again, sort of political. We're following a young new knight called Elliot, who has been like the last young person to be trained by a great master, and he is trying to help Queen Sophie to essentially save her lands from her cousin Warren, who's been vying for 20 years to basically take over the world. And we're sort of following Elliot and his entourage as we go through, and we're at the part where we're asking this other queen's permission to use her forces and to get her on board. The story itself is relatively enjoyable, if not simple. It's a fairly easy premise to follow along with, which does make it, you know, easy to keep track of. What I am really liking about this story is some of the history and some of the lore that is being put into conversations. There was a conversation where they were all sort of sitting down and having dinner over the fire, where we were talking about this age of darkness coming into a different age. And it was like, I was enamored. I didn't want it to stop. One of the characters interrupted. John was his name. He's like an old pirate. And he said, "Oh, we've already heard this story." And I was like, no, we haven't. I haven't heard this story, please continue. And luckily the story did continue, so I really enjoyed that. I do like some of the classic fantasy things that we're getting in there, like we've got these history of the elves and the dwarves and the centaurs and the mermaids and whatnot. I think that's really nice, and that's really cool as a fantasy reader sometimes to get those classic fantasy elements come through, so I'm enjoying that as well. And John, who I mentioned, is just a really great character to follow. I'm a little bit unsure of where I stand on Elliot, because some like chapters he's nice and he's a young boy who's just sort of learning and has like these honor codes and whatever that he's trying to follow, and like in some of them he's a dick, and I don't really know where to fall on that side. But the book is fine, the book is good. It's not doing anything sort of spectacular, but it's also not over-promising, and I appreciate that. The book hasn't over-promised what it's delivering exactly what it says it's going to. So it's both enjoyable. I'm hoping to have those both finished by the end of this week. I'm hoping to actually have Return of the Knights finished tomorrow night, so I can start Legacy of the Vermilion Blade and get that into this vlog as well. So we'll see how we go. I've got a lot of books to read this month, so I need to get cracking. Good morning. It is Wednesday the 6th. It's my sister's birthday, so happy birthday, Lily. I know you don't watch these. Happy birthday anyway. It is Wednesday. It's a typical Wednesday for me. I normally go into the office in the middle of the week. I spend some time with the agents that I have based in Brisbane and catch up with the other customs team members that are based here. But I have a few things I need to get done this morning. I do work quite late, so I'm quite fortunate in that aspect. I've got time in the mornings. A typical Wednesday morning for me, it's normally rest day from the gym. So I normally will do weights Monday and Tuesday, have an active rest day on Wednesday. So it'll be like an incline walk or a rolling hills walk for about 45 minutes. About 45 minutes of low impact exercise. And then I come home and I need to film. I need to film my review that needs to go out tomorrow. So if I film it now, I can edit it tonight and get it up ready to go. So this is what the shelf actually looks like normally because Rachel and I live in one room, so it's very cramped in here. There's like an office bed, like you saw it when I moved in here. I have to move all this crap. I need to move half of the clothes off so that you don't see our underwear in the shots. Yeah, so I'm going to go and do that and film, and then I'm going to take you through, I guess, I don't know, breakfast, like a morning routine thing. I don't know if this is even interesting, but I just don't have anything to talk about book-wise just yet, so this is what we're doing. This is where the magic happens, people. It's so glamorous. Ready to film. I actually got some book mail yesterday, so I'm going to open that real quick for the vlog before I film this thing. And I thought I would show you before I start filming my Wednesday video, because one of these is very exciting. So, you'll know I loved The Ruptured Sky when it came out by Jessica A. McMinn. I was lucky enough to be on the ARC team for it. Interviewed Jess here on the channel, absolutely lovely human being, and I've really wanted the book, so I finally have a physical copy. Bought this one with some birthday money that I got from my brother and sister-in-law. And then I have book 2 of I think it's the Conqueror series from Con Iggulden. This is Lords of the Bow, because I'm doing a buddy read of this historical fiction, the story of Genghis Khan, with Kris over on his channel, and a couple of others. I asked Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads and also Theo from A Kindled Reader if they would be interested, maybe, because it is not something that every fantasy reader or people who subscribe to this channel enjoy. But I had the first book, I got it secondhand in an okay condition from a book fair for like $2, but we are starting in November, so I needed the second book for December. So I went ahead and picked that one up too. Now I can go and film the video. Morning, it's Thursday. This is my very 50s kitchen that we have here. About to make some breakfast. It is fruit toast with nut butter, like Nuttalex, whatever the margarine or butter that is made out of nuts is. That's what breakfast is this morning, and water and coffee. But let's do a reading update real quick. I'm going to go into a different room to do the reading update because the lighting is better in here. And I'm going to close this window because it's noisy. Today's off to a good start. So it's currently Thursday the 7th. I've finished 2 of my SPFBO books. I finished Return of the Knights the day before yesterday, and I finished The Fall Is All There Is this morning while I was at the gym. So, let's do some thoughts. Return of the Knights really my thoughts haven't changed all that much. I thought the story was good for a debut. I think that there is... Oh, hello, Ari. She likes that part on the couch. Thought the story was good for what it is. It doesn't overpromise. Very classic fantasy. We have one plot. We do the plot. I really like the traveling aspects because I like traveling in stories. I like getting to know our world through travel. So a lot of those slower stories where there is a lot of travel incorporated that annoy other people, I tend to really enjoy them because I like those aspects. I also like some of the classical fantasy like creatures and stories that we had in it. I thought some of the world building was really good. I had an overall a good time, and I'm quite interested to see where this author goes as they develop their craft. And also, like, translated works are sort of hard to review sometimes because some things can get lost in translation. The Fall Is All There Is by C.M. Chaplin is probably one of the most unique fantasy stories I've ever read, in that it's sort of steampunk fantasy. Magic has screwed over the world. We need to not rely on magic anymore. But at the heart of it, it's a family political drama, which I absolutely love. We've got a brother who has been away for 5 years and really doesn't want all that much to do with his family, but he is the last heir to the throne of these quadruplets, and the other siblings are all vying for his attention, and drama ensues. So he's picked up by one brother, Edgar, who wants to bring him back home, but doesn't really want to bring him back home because he's got an ulterior motive. And then the other siblings, Desmond and I've forgotten that name, have something else happening. So it's very drama heavy. We get that traveling aspect again. There's cyber horses, which are awesome. And overall, it's just a very unique and very cool story. I've started the Legacy of the Vermilion Blade. This is by... Good dad move every time. I've started Legacy of the Vermilion Blade. This is by Jay Tallsquall. This is a book that really does celebrate the types of love that asexuals can have in the LGBTQIA plus community, because they're often overlooked. And I think it's really beautiful. I've read about 100 pages. There's about 350 pages of the book, so sort of a third of the way through. And so far, it's lovely. We're following Talon, who, as a young lad, was very captivated by a blacksmith's apprentice called Riken, and we get to see that initial story happen. And then Riken gets hurt one day and has to go away. And Talon, they had such a beautiful and intimate connection that was not sexual at all, and I think it's just so lovely. And now we're sort of following Talon many years later as he's trying to gear up to find information about Riken and to find him. So we've got training sequences, so if you like a good training sequence, there's an awesome one in this book. And so far, prose is really lovely. The storytelling is done in very short paragraphs, so it moves very quickly, and yeah, I'm having a good time with it. So we'll see where we end on that one. That will be the last SPFBO 9 book that I'll be reading for this vlog, depending on what happens, because it is only the 7th, and I do these vlogs up until the 10th. If I finish it tomorrow, or even Saturday morning, which will be the 9th, I may start another book, and I'll start my SPSFC book for the month and give you some initial thoughts on that. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm going to go have breakfast and clock into work, because I have half an hour until I need to do that. I just recorded the video for the Little Libraries. I just recorded the video for the Little Libraries project that I want to start. That's going out next week. I don't know how coherent the video is. I'm very excited about the project to see where it can go. Even if it goes nowhere, I'm still excited to do it myself. But yeah, I hope you will check that video out if you haven't already. I'll put a shameless plug up here and link it in the cards. Hello, it is Saturday the 9th. Rachel and I have a bit of a self-care weekend happening, and not like a fun self-care weekend, like just adult shit that needs to happen. So we've got the dentist in about 20 minutes. Luckily, she's down the road. We'll be going to do that. Rachel has an eye test. I've been told I've got to help her choose some frames. This can be a 6-hour experience. I need to go buy a new polo top, because I'll be in the office full-time for about a month from Monday while I train someone. And I've got like 2 button-ups and 2 polo shirts, and that ain't gonna cut it for a month. So I'm just gonna go buy another, maybe 1, 2, because the office is quite warm. So wearing those long sleeve business shirts, it gets very sweaty, because I work in there's a warehouse, and then there's like an office that's just tacked on to the warehouse where all the freight gets sorted. So if anyone who doesn't know, I work in customs. I work in customs for an international freight company, and we look at all the shipments that come in once they get manifested overseas, wherever they're coming in from, and we just make sure they're safe to enter the country before they physically get here to get inspected by like Australian Border Force and whatnot. It sounds cooler than it is, but we have caught quite a few people trying to bring in some dodgy stuff before it even gets here. Some of my team are absolutely brilliant at the sleuthing. Anyway, if you wanted to know what I do outside of booktube and reading, which is the other almost full-time job, I do book stuff on the side. Lots of book stuff. I don't do anything else really besides book stuff and work. Anyway, I digress. Tomorrow we have more of a fun self-care day. I'm going to the sauna. I've booked Rachel a massage, and then I think we're going to go get some lunch. Rachel is hard proofreading at the moment. She's got quite a few projects. She's got 2 happening in September, which takes up a lot of her time. So we just try and get a little bit of quality time together when we can, because we're both just working all the time, either on book stuff or our actual jobs. So yeah, we're going to go and do that. There might be some breakfast. We can't eat after the dentist for half an hour. It's already 9:15. I'm already hungry. I don't think we're going to be able to eat anything until about 11. So the hangar is going to be real by that point. But I'll check in with you. I'll try and take some B-roll footage to maybe not the dentist, because how boring would that be? Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit. Before I go, I am at 2/3 of Legacy of the Vermilion Blade. It's such a beautiful prose. The story is very much about Talon just experiencing life. Very slow, very different parts of his life. It's only really sort of coming together now that his father has like a massive hold on him, and there's like this magical connection to the bad stuff that has happened in his family, and he's being pulled back into that world and trying to, I guess, find his own way through those family connections, which has been a constant theme throughout the book, but beautifully written. There are some really, really beautiful moments in there, which I'll talk about more in my review and probably in the wrap-up, but I'm enjoying it a lot. Beautiful prose, slow burn story, very character-driven. I think for me, if it's a character-driven story, and even like epic fantasy, like the world, I like it to be done slowly so I can really feel a part of it. I prefer the slow burn than I do a quick pace book. Not that they're not fun, but I prefer the slow pace. Anyway, that's it for now. Catch you later. Bye. Ariana has Fred's toy and he's unimpressed. It's okay. She's allowed. Why are you biting me? I'm not a toy. Somehow, it turned into the 15th of September and I forgot to do my final vlog clip and realized I'm editing this tomorrow, so I need to do a final vlog clip. When we left off, I was talking about Legacy of the Vermilion Blade. I'm in my friend's house right now. They've just gone to dinner. I'm crashing the apartment to give Rachel some editing time. Long story short, her brain works the opposite time that my brain works, so I've sort of left the space for her to have that space in her prime time when she needs it. So anyway, I was talking about Legacy of the Vermilion Blade. I was about 2/3 of the way through. I have finished it, and I've read a whole last book in between that and filming this clip. I really do want to say that Legacy of the Vermilion Blade was such a beautiful story. The prose, if you like pretty prose, you're going to have a good time here. This story held such lovely thematics, and not just about asexuality and love in a way that is not hypersexualized, but also that it's never too late to start living your life over. And sometimes that's really scary, and it might have to happen a few times in your life, but don't be scared of those new beginnings, because it's absolutely worth it for you to find love in all these different ways. And I'm not talking romantic love, I'm talking familial love, I'm talking love for your friends. There are many different types of love. I've not been challenged since studying Shakespeare many, many years ago, and like in a high school setting, of what love means and all the different types of love that we can experience in our lives. And this book really made me think of that. So the plot is secondary, I will say that, but what really shines through here is Talon's ability to adapt and make a life for himself and find the love and the comfort within those lives with whoever he is with at that time in his life, not romantically. And it was such a breath of fresh air, and I really, really appreciated the messages that were in that book. Briefly, I'll touch upon the YA book that I read, which was The Spider and Her Demons by Sydney Koo. This one was a read for the Queer Corner, as like just a book that we're going to discuss in the next episode, written by a non-binary, aromantic, asexual author, and it's not going to work, that angle for me. And it was also really good on the thematics. I'm not a YA reader. I'm not the target audience for this book, but I thought the messages that were inside it were wonderful for young kids going into it. But there'll be more on that in the Queer Corner. But yes, that was a vlog for the month. Hopefully it was entertaining enough with just the reading updates for you. If you like the content, give it one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will. And I will, of course, catch you in the next video. Ciao.